Hello, beauties. So today I'm going to do a warm, smoky eye look using one of my favorite palettes, and that is Tartelette In Bloom. We're going to be using the whole bottom row today. So let's get started. First, always use a primer. And my favorite is the Smashbox 24-Hour Primer. Goes on clear, it doesn't cause any extra friction to the eyelid when you're blending your shadows, and it seriously locks them down. I'm just gonna apply it all the way from lash line all the way across the lid. Next, we're gonna start with our base shade. For that, I'm gonna use Sweetheart. And I'm going to use my Morphe E13 brush. And just take that, any extra you have, dust it off, and this one's going to go all over the lid. And it's such a pretty, warm, pinkish color, but it has a little bit of those like berry undertones, which, if you have any green in your eyes, like I do, definitely makes them pop. After that, we're gonna go in with Rebel. For that one, I like to use my Anastasia A25 brush. We're gonna take that, dust off any excess, and take it to the outer corners and a little bit up through the crease. This one I love. This is how you start building up some nice depth to the eye. And I like to take it and just lightly kind of fan it out. It gives kind of a natural looking cat eye. Go through on this side now. Starting to feel those fall vibes. Is anyone else ready for fall? Don't get me wrong, I love summer, but I'm a sucker for fall. Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. Alrighty. Then I like to take that one too, using the same brush, and just bring it a little bit to the under eye, but keeping it right towards the outer corner of it, maybe about halfway through. At this point, you don't need to be super precise with the under eye because we're still going to go through with concealer and clean it up when we do our complexion. Next, we're gonna go in and smoke it out with Leader. I'm actually gonna still use my same brush, and this one we do to the very, very outer corner. And I like to use a light hand with this because it's better to build it up than have to spend forever blending it out. You can smudge a little bit into the lash line, but just try to keep this one more on the outer corners. Then, I do really like to use this beautiful bronzy shade called Firecracker. I'm gonna go in with one of my Morphe brushes. This one, I like to actually press from the center of the lid and then going towards the inner corner of the eye. This adds some really nice shimmer and a little more dimension to the eye. And then this one you can actually bring down onto the lower lash line and just kind of connect it in with that darker color that we had already put there. Then I like to take a little bit of Flower Child, which is right here, put that across the brow bone and blend that down into our shades. Okay, next I'm going to go through with some eyeliner, and the one that I chose to use is the Smashbox Always On Gel Liner in Fishnet. I really like this one when you're trying to create more of a smudgy, smoky effect. It allows for some blendability, but when it sets, and I love that. So I don't have time for my makeup to move. So this one I'm just going to go in and kind of smudge it along the lash line, and you don't have to be super accurate with this because we're going to go through with a blending brush or a smudger and smudge it out. So even though I'm going back and forth, I'm still pulling more towards the outside to kind of build that up a little bit more. And then go through on the other side. And if you notice, I really only go about to the middle of the eye with this, because I like to still keep the eye kind of bright on the inner corner. I have more of like an almond-shaped eye, so if I put too much dark on the inner corners, my eyes end up looking very closed. We want smoky, not sleepy. And then I'm going to take the same pencil and put it right into the waterline. Alrighty, now we're gonna take some and do our mascara. So I use the Tarte Light Camera Lashes. It's one of my favorites. This one is volumizing, it's lengthening, it's defining. It's also very hydrating for your lashes. So it actually stays on all day, does not flake, and does not make your lashes crispy. I don't typically use false lashes, so I need a good mascara that delivers all of the length, volume, definition, etc. that a lot of false lashes do. And the reason why I don't use false lashes on a regular basis is after I had my daughter, my lashes stopped growing. In fact, I lost a lot of them. They got really short, they were breaking, and they just wouldn't grow. Welcome to motherhood. So I worked super duper hard and put a lot of time and effort into growing them. These are all my natural lashes now. And I don't want to use anything that is going to possibly pull them out and break them. No matter how careful you are while removing them, you still usually end up losing a lash or two. So now we have the base for the eyes. I'm gonna go through with complexion now. The reason why I like to do my eyes before my complexion is if there's ever any fallout, you can easily just wipe it away and then have a clean slate for your foundation and concealer. Versus if you were to do your foundation and concealer first, then do the smoky eye, and then have all of this fallout, it's gonna be a mess trying to fix it. Fortunately, this doesn't have a lot of fallout. I use my Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation, and I like to put it right on the back of my hand. This is a really nice matte long wear foundation. If you watched my skincare video, you know that my skin tends to go a little more towards the dry side overall. So I take their maracuja oil, that wonderful antioxidant superfruit, and I put literally 1 drop in. Then I mix it around on my hand, and this will actually still be a nice matte finish, but it gives a little more moisture and makes my skin feel fantastic. So go through, put all these really great dots all over your face. If you're wondering why my lips look this way, it's because I recently got them done like 3 days ago, so they're still in the healing phase. So those little bruises and stuff are not because I ran into a door or anything. Next, I'm going to take my beauty blender, and I actually do 2 steps with this one. I like the beauty blender because the damp blender also adds a little extra moisture. Then I go through with a brush to get a finished, airbrushed look. And for that, I'm using the brush that was actually formulated for this foundation, and that's the Buffer by Tarte. Yes, this is a foundation brush, and yes, it is amazing. So I just go through and just buff it out. Voila. Next I go through with my concealer, and the one that I'm still absolutely obsessed with is the Smashbox Studio Skin, the 24-hour wear. I love this concealer because it actually is waterproof. It's buildable. It also is one of the only ones that does not crease on me. I have a horrible problem with concealers creasing, no matter what I use. This has been the only one that has the wonderful staying power and also doesn't crease. So I also use my finger for the most part to blend in my concealer. And the reason why I'm doing that actually warms up the product so it melts into your skin. So that also helps with creasing and all that kind of stuff. Then I go through with my Beauty Blender and I just kind of pat out the edges. And when this one sets, it will be a really beautiful natural finish. Okay. Then I'll need to bronze it up. I'm a bronzer addict. I need to have my bronzer on a daily basis. And I'm going to use the Anastasia contour kit and my Morphe M556 brush. Dip it in there. And buff that along the cheekbones. And with whatever extra I have, just a little bit across the forehead and on the jawline. So you're kind of creating that 3. But keeping the majority of the focus on your cheekbones. If you need to make a fish face in order to find that great definition, go for it. Sometimes we all need just that little cheat sheet. I don't contour my nose too much. I kind of just take the extra and then just buff down one side and buff down the other. And across the bottom. Okay, fantastic. Then we're gonna go through with some blush. Because we used a lot of warm berry tones, I'm actually using the Anastasia Blush Trio in Pink Passion. I'm gonna be using primarily this one right here. It's just this nice kind of berry, slightly mauve-y, but still nice and pink color. And for that, smile, apples of the cheeks. And you can kind of track it back into your bronzer too, but not too far because nobody wants an 80s blush streak. And then finally for complexion, my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed Opal and my Anastasia A23 brush. I've already hit pan on this. I'm so sad. It's such a beautiful highlighter. Look at that glow. Love it. And a little bit on the tip of the nose, bridge, and then I take it and lightly dust that onto my brow bone. Then I take my finger and lightly press that into the inner corners. Then you can do your Cupid's bow. Okay, last but certainly not least, lips. So I actually really love using this one. So the Tarte Lip Architect. And what's so nice about it is that you have one side that's a lip liner and the other side matching lipstick. Fantastic, one and done, it's easy. The color I'm using is Muse, and it's this nice kind of peachy neutral color that is amazing. As you can see, it just glides on effortlessly. I'll go through with this and cover up those lovely lip bruises. And there you have it, your wonderful day or night warm, smoky eye look. I hope you guys enjoyed following along with me. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up on the video, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys soon.